Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Astronaut channel. I'm so glad you found your way here tonight. Maybe it's been a long day, or maybe you're someone who likes to fall asleep with quiet wonder, letting thoughts of soft starlight and ancient worlds loosen the weight of waking life. There's nothing you need to do right now. Just breathe slowly. Let your jaw unclench. Allow the space behind your eyes to soften. Let your body feel held by the bed beneath you. Because tonight, we're drifting gently through the story of our solar system, a place that feels familiar, and yet, in many ways, still so strange that parts of it sound almost make-believe. From the warm glow of the sun to the furthest icy wanderers at the edge of gravity's reach, we'll explore 100 soft and surprising truths, each one an invitation to relax a little deeper. And if these calm journeys bring you rest, consider liking and subscribing. It helps other sleepy travelers find their way here too. Now, close your eyes, let your breathing settle, and let's begin. Fact 1. A cloud older than memory. Long before Earth, long before the sun, there was only a vast drifting cloud of gas and dust. It hung in space like a quiet fog, unhurried, untouched, older than any story ever told. There were no planets yet, no warmth, no light, just silence and soft particles floating together in the dark. Over millions of years, gentle ripples of gravity passed through this cloud, nudging dust toward dust in the slowest embrace imaginable. There was no rush, no sudden spark, just time, vast and endless. And from this silence, the first seeds of our solar system began to gather. Beyond that forming center, worlds were waiting to be born. Fact 2. The birth of a sun. At the heart of the cloud, matter drifted inward, drawn by its own faint pull. As it gathered, it warmed, not from fire, but from pressure, like hands pressed together in the cold. Slowly, the center brightened, becoming a sphere of glowing plasma. This was the sun, but newborn and still gentle, not yet blazing. Over ages, the growing light pushed back the darkness, filling the surrounding space with warmth. The sun was not ignited in a flash. It was awakened, softly, steadily. Around it, the leftover dust continued to swirl. Fact 3. A disk of spinning starlight. The material that didn't become the sun formed a wide, thin disk circling it, like a shining halo stretching millions of miles across. This disk spun slowly, peacefully, flattening into something delicate and bright. Each tiny speck within it glimmered as sunlight began touching it for the very first time. These particles collided gently, like snowflakes settling, gradually forming pebbles, then stones, then entire worlds. Every planet, every moon, every asteroid began in this graceful whirl. Even now, we can still see such disks around young stars, reminders of how quietly creation unfolds. And from this disk, the first worlds grew. Fact 4. Worlds made from dust. Snowflakes. After the sun formed, the disk of leftover dust continued to swirl around it in silence. The particles floating there were incredibly small, lighter than the finest powder, drifting like quiet ash suspended in space. But when two grains met, they didn't shatter or bounce away. Instead, they clung together, held by the faintest static charge, like hair drawn to a sweater, or the soft cling of winter snowflakes. Over millions of years, these tiny clusters grew. Pebbles became boulders. Boulders became mountains drifting through space. And those mountains slowly gathered into worlds. Planets did not crash into being. They accumulated slowly, like sleep settling over a tired mind. And from that patience, a family of worlds emerged. Fact 5. A family in quiet motion. What's remarkable is not just that planets formed, but that they all found their places. Each planet settled into its own orbit, its own distance from the sun, its own rhythm. Mercury hugging close to the warmth, Neptune drifting far into the soft blue cold. None of this was planned, of course. It was simply balance. The gentle push of momentum, the quiet pull of gravity, working together without hurry. Even now, every planet remains in motion, endlessly circling, always returning to where it began. The solar system is not still. It is a slow, graceful dance, older than every memory, and everything within it moves together, held by one shared center of light. Fact 6. The sun holds almost everything. Though we think of planets as massive places with mountains, oceans, storms, and deep histories, almost all the mass in the solar system belongs to the sun. 99.8%, in fact. Nearly everything is contained in that glowing sphere of plasma. The planets, moons, comets, and asteroids together make up only a fraction of what exists here. The sun is not just a light in the sky. It is the anchor of everything we know. It is the warmth in our air, the spark in every growing seed, the guiding presence that keeps Earth steady and alive. In a way, we are all pieces of the sun, orbiting our parent star in ongoing quiet union. And from this center of warmth, our journey continues outward, one world at a time. Fact 7. The sun is a quiet giant. We see the sun every day, yet it's easy to forget just how enormous and gentle it truly is. If Earth were the size of a small pebble, the sun would be a sphere as tall as a house. And yet, even with its vast size, its warmth reaches us as a soft, steady glow. Never rushed, never forced. Inside its core, hydrogen atoms merge together in a constant slow kindling of light. This process is calm and continuous, like a candle that has never gone out. The sun shines not with flame, but with fusion, a quiet joining that creates warmth, radiance, and life. And from that light, our world awakens each day. Fact 8. Sunlight takes its time. It seems simple. Light leaves the sun and touches Earth. But the journey is stranger than it appears. The sunlight warming your skin right now is incredibly old. It began in the sun's core as energy trapped deep within its glowing layers. To escape outward, this energy must pass through dense plasma, moving in tiny, zigzagging steps. It can take over 100,000 years for the light inside the sun to reach the surface. But once free, it travels fast, crossing the vast space between sun and Earth in just 8.5 minutes. The warmth you feel today began long before human history began. Each sunrise is ancient light, finally arriving home. Fact 9. The sun breathes a silent breeze. The sun doesn't simply shine, it exhales. A steady stream of charged particles flows outward from its surface, drifting through the solar system in every direction. This is the solar wind, and though we never feel it on our skin, it touches everything. It shapes the tails of comets. It protects Earth from cosmic radiation. It even creates the auroras, those soft curtains of green and violet light dancing in polar skies. The solar wind is like a gentle breath that never stops, a reminder that the sun is not still, but alive with motion and presence. And beyond the sun's glow, more worlds wait in the quiet. Fact 10. The sun sings in waves we cannot hear. Though space is quiet, the sun is never silent. Its surface rises and falls, rippling softly like the surface of a warm sea. These waves are created by currents of plasma moving beneath its glowing layers, rising, cooling, and sinking again. Scientists can listen to these waves by watching how the sun vibrates, like a musical instrument resonating from the inside out. The tones are deep, lower than any sound our ears can perceive, more like gentle pulses than songs. This vibration helps us understand the sun's inner structure, even though we can never see it directly. In its own way, the sun is always singing, a slow, steady lullaby of light. Fact 11. The inner planets are quiet siblings in the sun's warmth. Closest to the sun, 4 rocky worlds move in close, steady orbits: Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. They are different in every way, from shimmering clouds to dusty plains, and yet they share something deep in common. Each is small, solid, shaped by sunlight rather than storms of gas. They warm quickly in day and cool quickly at night. They are worlds of valleys, mountains, and stone. We often think of planets as isolated, but these 4 are like siblings, formed from the same swirling dust, shaped by the same gentle physics, growing up together around the same star. Yet each one tells a completely different story. Fact 12. Earth lives in a narrow, comfortable space. If Earth were much closer to the sun, our oceans would have vanished long ago, steamed away into the sky. If Earth were much farther, those same oceans would have frozen into endless sheets of ice. But Earth orbits in a very delicate place, sometimes called the Goldilocks zone, where warmth is balanced just right. Not too hot, not too cold. But that balance doesn't come from distance alone. Our atmosphere acts like a soft blanket, holding just enough heat to keep water flowing, storms moving, and life thriving. Earth is not simply lucky. It is finely tuned, held in a narrow, gentle range of comfort that allows life to breathe and bloom. Fact 13. Mercury, the planet of endless silence. Mercury orbits so close to the sun that its days burn bright and its nights fall into deep, frozen darkness. There is almost no atmosphere there, nothing to carry sound, no wind to move dust, no clouds to paint the sky. If you stood on Mercury, you would hear nothing at all, not even the soft shifting of your own breath. The sun would rise enormous and blinding, filling half the sky, yet the warmth would not linger when darkness fell. Mercury is a world of extremes, yet profoundly quiet, a silent stone circling the heart of our solar system. It is the reminder that not every world is made for life, but all are shaped by the same light. Fact 14. A day longer than a year. Time moves differently on Mercury. It spins so slowly that one full rotation, sunrise to sunrise, takes 176 Earth days. But it orbits the sun quickly, completing a full lap in just 88 Earth days. This means Mercury's day is longer than its year. Imagine living in a place where dawn arrives only twice in a year, where shadows stay stretched across the ground for weeks at a time, and where the sun appears to move strangely, rising, pausing, and sometimes drifting backward before continuing. The pace is not rushed, not busy, not hurried. Mercury's clock is slow, steady, and patient, like the breath of a planet dreaming. Fact 15. A world with a metal heart. Most rocky planets, like Earth, Venus, and Mars, have thick crusts and large mantles. But Mercury is different. Almost 3/4 of its diameter is made of a metallic iron core. In many ways, Mercury is like a giant planetary heart, wrapped in only a thin layer of stone. This iron core is still partially molten, generating a faint but measurable magnetic field, the whisper of a world that continues to hum inside. Scientists believe something long ago may have stripped Mercury's surface away, perhaps ancient collisions, perhaps gravitational influence from the young sun. What remains is a world of essence, dense, small, and shining at its center, a planet reduced to its quiet core. Fact 16. The slowest spin in the solar system. Venus turns so slowly that its day lasts longer than its year. One full rotation on its axis takes 243 Earth days, while one trip around the Sun takes only 225. And even stranger, Venus spins backwards compared to most other planets. If you stood on its surface, the Sun would appear to rise in the west and set in the east, moving through the sky in the opposite direction from what we know on Earth. This slow turning means there are no quick days or rushed nights here. Instead, time stretches like warm honey, unhurried and quiet. Venus is a planet that lingers, a world that takes its time to turn toward the light. Fact 17. A sky wrapped in endless cloud. The surface of Venus is hidden beneath a dense blanket of clouds, so thick that no sunlight reaches the ground directly. The sky is made of swirling sulfuric acid droplets, floating in a haze that stretches endlessly in every direction. The clouds reflect so much sunlight that Venus becomes the brightest object in the night sky after the moon, a soft, steady beacon that appears just before sunrise or just after sunset, often called the evening star or morning star. But below that glowing cloud layer, the world is dim and amber-colored, as if lit by a candle behind closed curtains. Venus is beautiful from afar and mysterious up close, like a dream seen through fog. Fact is 18. Earth's twin with a fevered dream heart. Venus is nearly the same size as Earth, with similar gravity and composition. In many ways, it could have been our sister, perhaps even a second home. But its thick atmosphere traps heat so efficiently that the surface temperature rises to over 860 degrees Fahrenheit, hotter than the surface of Mercury, even though Venus is farther from the Sun. Rocks glow here. Lead would melt. The air weighs heavy, pressing down with the force of a deep ocean. Yet nothing about Venus feels violent, only slow, still, and immensely warm, like a world preserved in a permanent golden twilight. It reminds us how small the difference is between comfort and overwhelm, between Earth and what might have been. Fact 19. Water, the patient sculptor of Earth. Earth is the only known planet where water flows freely across the surface, not frozen solid or locked away as vapor. And this water is ancient, older than mountains, older than continents, older even than some stars. Over billions of years, waves have smoothed stones, rivers have carved valleys, and tides have breathed in and out like the slow rhythm of a sleeping world. Water does not rush its work. It shapes everything gently, endlessly, wearing away rock grain by grain, carrying minerals across oceans, creating shorelines that shift like passing thoughts. When rain drifts down onto Earth, it is part of a cycle that is repeated for eons, a soft memory moving through clouds, rivers, seas, and living beings. Earth is not just a planet with water. It is a planet shaped by water. Fact 20. The atmosphere is a quiet, invisible blanket. The air around us feels weightless, but it is always there, held close by Earth's gravity like a warm embrace. This atmosphere is only a thin shell compared to the size of the planet, yet it protects everything. It keeps warmth from escaping into space. It blocks harmful radiation. It carries the breath of forests and oceans across the globe. Every inhale you take contains molecules breathed by ancient trees, drifting over distant oceans, shared by life forms long gone. The sky may look empty, but it is full of motion, memory, and quiet shelter. Without this soft layer of air, Earth would be cold, silent, and lifeless. Because of it, we wake to blue sky, clouds that wander, and winds that hum gently around us. The atmosphere is the unseen cradle of life. Fact 21. Life blooms. Here in countless forms, Earth is the only world we know that grows forests, oceans full of living currents, and tiny seeds that open into whole ecosystems. Life is not rare here. It is everywhere. In the tallest clouds, in the deepest ocean trenches, in desert sands, in frozen ice sheets. Everywhere that light, warmth, water, and time have touched, something has awakened. Every creature, every plant, every cell carries within it the same ancient spark. Atoms forged in distant stars, gathered on this little blue world, learning how to breathe and change and evolve. Earth is not simply a planet that hosts life. It is a planet that creates life. Fact 22. The Moon was once part of Earth. Long ago, Earth was struck by a young, wandering planet. A collision slow by cosmic standards, but unimaginably vast in scale. The impact scattered molten rock into orbit, forming a bright, glowing ring around Earth, like the halo of a newborn star. Over time, that ring gathered itself together, cooling slowly, shaping itself into the moon we see today. This means the moon is not simply a neighbor. It is family, made of Earth's own stone. When you look at the moon, you are looking at a piece of the planet beneath your feet, returned to the sky to circle us forever. The moon is Earth's memory, drifting just beyond the atmosphere like a silent companion. Fact 23. One face, always, watching the moon, rotates at just the right speed so that it always shows Earth the same side. This is called tidal locking, and it has lasted for billions of years. If you stood on the moon, Earth would never rise or set. It would simply hang in the sky, glowing softly, turning slowly through its days and nights. Because of this perfect rhythm, the moon feels familiar, even comforting, always presenting the same gentle expression. There is another side, the far side, but it is not dark. It simply faces away, hidden in privacy. The moon does not hide secrets from us to be mysterious. It simply turns in quiet harmony, moving as if it is always thinking of us. Fact 24. The moon pulls on our oceans in slow waves. Every moment, the moon is tugging gently at Earth. Its gravity pulls on the oceans, drawing the water toward it. As Earth rotates, this pull travels around the globe, creating the tides, the slow breathing of our planet. Waves rise and fall, not just because of wind or storms, but because the moon is always there, holding our oceans in a kind of embrace. This delicate gravitational pull has shaped coastlines, guided migratory patterns, and influenced life itself. Without the moon, Earth's tides would be small and still, and life may have evolved differently, or not at all. The moon does not speak, does not shine by its own light, and yet its presence moves more water than all the rivers of the world combined. A silent influence, a constant whisper. Fact 25. The red planet of dust and quiet Mars is a world painted in soft, rusty tones, iron-rich dust covering valleys, hills, and ancient lakebeds. Its sky often glows a delicate peach color, especially at dawn and dusk, when sunlight filters through its thin atmosphere. There are no roaring storms here, like on giant planets, no crashing waves like on Earth. Wind moves slowly, shifting dust grain by grain, shaping ripples across its plains. If you stood on Mars, everything would feel still. Sound would be muted, footsteps would be soft, and the horizon would stretch far, uninterrupted. Mars feels less like an alien world and more like an old memory. Familiar, quiet, spacious. a place that seems to be waiting for something or someone. Fact 26. A canyon, larger than any on Earth. On Mars lies Valles Marineris, a canyon system so large that it stretches across nearly a fifth of the planet's circumference. It is over 2,500 miles long, deep enough to hold mountains, wide enough to fit entire countries. If you placed it on Earth, it would run from California to the Atlantic Ocean. Yet unlike Earth's canyons, shaped by flowing rivers, this one appears to have opened from within, slowly pulled apart by forces in the Martian crust. Standing at its rim, the view would feel endless, descending into layered cliffs colored in reds, golds, and grays. But Mars is silent, so the canyon echoes nothing. A vast, open breath of geological time, a reminder of how planets stretch, shift, and grow. Fact 27. The largest volcano in the solar system. Near the Martian equator rises Olympus Mons, a volcano so broad and gentle that its slopes are barely noticeable when you're standing on them. It is nearly 3 times the height of Mount Everest, but the incline is soft and gradual, spreading across an area the size of Arizona. Olympus Mons formed because Mars has no moving tectonic plates. Lava welled up in the same place for millions of years, flowing outward like thick paint. Imagine climbing a mountain where the horizon never tilts, where you walk for days, yet never truly feel yourself rising. A mountain that is also a memory of ancient warmth. Mars once had fire inside, and it may still, quietly, deep below. Fact 28. A belt that isn't crowded at all. Many imagine the asteroid belt as a maze of tumbling rocks, constantly colliding. But in truth, it is a place of vast openness. The asteroids are separated by millions of miles of empty space. If you were flying through in a spacecraft, you would almost never see a single one. Each asteroid drifts alone, following its orbit in slow, patient solitude. They are remnants of the early solar system, fragments that never gathered into a world of their own. The belt is not chaotic. It is peaceful, a quiet region where stones circle the sun with the same steady grace as planets, an archipelago of worlds that never quite became whole. Fact 29. Ceres, the world that almost was. At the heart of the asteroid belt is Ceres, a round, gentle world made of rock and ice. It is neither quite a planet nor simply a piece of stone, but something in between. Ceres is large enough to be shaped into a sphere by its own gravity, suggesting that it once had a warmer interior, perhaps even oceans beneath its crust. Some scientists believe Ceres may still hold pockets of briny water deep below its icy surface, an echo of warmth in a cold region. It is a world paused mid-journey, a planet that never fully formed, yet never truly broke apart. A reminder that creation does not rush, that worlds emerge in layers, attempts, and almosts. Fact 30. The quiet drifters of the belt. The rest of the asteroids come in many shapes. Some are jagged, some smooth, some little more than loosely packed rubble held together by the gentlest gravity. A few spin slowly, like ancient moons. Others turn rapidly, completing a rotation in just hours. Many have small companion moons of their own, tiny stones following stones, dancing together through empty space. These asteroids are like time capsules, unchanged since the solar system's earliest days. Their minerals tell stories of what the sun was made of, what the early planets were formed from, and how the dust of a nebula slowly became a home. When we study them, we are not simply learning about rocks. We are listening to history written in silence. Fact 31. The planet. Too large to ignore Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system, so large that it could hold all the other planets inside it. with room left to spare. It doesn't have a solid surface like Earth. Instead, it is made mostly of swirling hydrogen and helium, forming layer upon layer of deep, ever-moving cloud. These clouds stretch across thousands of miles, banded in soft tones of cream, gold, brown, and white, like slow strokes of paint brushed across the sky. Though immense, Jupiter does not feel chaotic. Its movements are broad, slow, and majestic, like the deep breathing of a sleeping giant. It is a world of storms without thunder, winds without sound, and beauty without sharp edges. Jupiter is gravity made visible, powerful, steady, and ancient. Fact 32. A storm older than human history. On Jupiter, there is a swirling oval of color called the Great Red Spot, a storm wider than Earth itself. It has been spinning for at least 350 years, possibly longer, never fading completely, never coming to rest. But this storm is not violent in the way storms are on Earth. There is no rain here, no crashing thunder. Instead, gases swirl in quiet, sweeping arcs. Colors blend and fade, rising and sinking like pigments suspended in water. Seen from afar, the storm appears calm, a single graceful whirl in the planet's endless atmosphere, a reminder that even powerful forces can move with softness. The Great Red Spot is not a storm of destruction. It is a storm of persistence. Fact 33. Jupiter, the guardian of Earth. Jupiter's enormous gravity acts like a shield for the inner planets. Many comets and asteroids that wander too close are pulled into Jupiter's orbit, flung safely away from the Sun, or captured entirely. Without Jupiter, Earth would likely experience far more impacts, events that could have changed the course of life many times over. In this way, Jupiter has quietly protected our planet for billions of years, not through intention, but through presence alone. It is a reminder that sometimes the most powerful forms of care are silent and unseen, forces that hold steady simply by being. Fact 34. Io, the moon of restless fire. Io looks calm from afar, a small pale sphere circling Jupiter. But up close, it is the most volcanically active world in the solar system. Instead of oceans, Io has lakes of molten rock. Instead of mountains of stone, it has mountains made of sulfur and iron-rich minerals painted in yellows, reds, and dark charcoal black. The heat that drives Io's fire does not come from sunlight, but from gravitational stretching. Jupiter's enormous pull bends and flexes Io's interior as it orbits, warming it from within. Imagine a moon that glows softly in the dark, not from light, but from heat still rising through its crust. Io is a reminder that some worlds burn quietly in hearts of stone. Fact 35. Europa's ocean. Beneath a shell of ice. Europa is smooth, bright, and pale, a moon that looks like polished marble. But beneath its icy surface lies something extraordinary, a global ocean, deeper than any ocean on Earth. This ocean is warmed by gentle tidal heating, just like Io, but softened by water rather than fire. The ice above is scored with long, delicate lines, cracks where the surface has shifted slightly over time, like the slow movement of frozen tides. Beneath those cracks, the ocean is completely dark, yet possibly full of energy and minerals. If life exists beyond Earth, Europa is one of the most promising places to find it, not in sunlight, but in warmth that rises from deep below, like underwater springs on Earth that glow in total darkness. Europa is a world that holds its secrets quietly beneath a frozen lid. Fact 36. Ganymede, the moon with a magnetic heart. Ganymede is the largest moon in the solar system, even larger than the planet Mercury. But what makes it truly unique is that it has a magnetic field, something no other moon possesses. This means Ganymede has a molten, churning core beneath its icy and rocky layers, generating a shield of invisible force. If you could stand on Ganymede's surface, you would see Jupiter hanging enormous in the sky, its clouds swirling wider than the horizon. The ice beneath your feet might hide yet another deep ocean, a place where liquid water and minerals meet. Ganymede is a moon that feels like a world, layered, complex, ancient, and quietly alive with activity deep within. Fact 37. Callisto, the ancient, untouched moon. Callisto is a moon of shadows and silence, wrapped in darkness far from the warmth of the sun. Its surface is covered with craters, so many that they overlap, forming patterns like softened dimples in worn leather. Callisto has not changed much in billions of years. No volcanoes reshape it. No tectonic plates shift it. No atmosphere smooths the scars of time. It is a place where the past remains visible, unedited, unforgotten. If the solar system has a memory, Callisto is one of its clearest pages. A record of countless impacts and quiet ages, yet it is not a violent world. It is peaceful, still, a moon that has accepted time without resisting it. Fact 38. The planet of rings and golden quiet. Now we arrive at Saturn, a world of soft tones and calm presence. Saturn is a gas giant like Jupiter, but gentler in color. Pale gold, cream, and muted amber swirling in slow layers. The planet itself has no solid surface to stand upon, but it is surrounded by something truly unique. A system of shining rings encircling it like delicate jewelry. From Earth, the rings look sharp and defined, but up close they are made of countless pieces. Crystals of ice, grains of dust, small stones, each one reflecting sunlight. Saturn is a world that feels almost impossible. Too serene, too beautiful, too perfectly arranged. A reminder that even the universe knows how to create something simply to inspire awe. Fact 39. Rings, made of ice, light, and shadow. The rings of Saturn are incredibly thin, sometimes only tens of meters thick, yet they stretch for hundreds of thousands of miles around the planet. They are not solid bands, but swirling fields of particles that reflect sunlight like frost catching morning light. Each piece moves in its own orbit, all aligned in a broad, flat plane. From within the rings, the sun would shimmer off billions of icy surfaces, creating a soft glitter that shifts as you move. Scientists believe the rings are relatively young compared to the planet, perhaps only 100 million years old, formed from a shattered moon or a captured comet pulled apart by Saturn's gravity. They are beautiful, not because they are permanent, but because they are fleeting, like a moment of grace held in motion. Fact 40. A moon, with weather of its own Titan, is the only moon in the solar system with a thick atmosphere. When spacecraft have descended toward its surface, they pass through orange haze that glowed softly like twilight. The air is dense and cold, made mostly of nitrogen, strangely similar to Earth's. But the temperature is far lower, cold enough that methane behaves the way water does here. Titan has seasons, clouds, winds, and rain, but the rain falls slowly, in gentle drifting drops that take their time reaching the ground. This is not a world of storms. It is a world of soft, patient weather. Titan feels less like an alien moon and more like a dream of Earth, seen through amber glass. Fact 41. Lakes and seas made of methane. On Titan's surface, there are lakes that glisten under a dim, distant sun, but they are not filled with water. They are made of liquid methane and ethane, substances that evaporate and condense here just as water does on Earth. These lakes ripple in the wind, form shorelines, and may have waves that lap quietly at frozen beaches. Some lakes are small ponds. Others are seas hundreds of miles wide. If you stood beside one, the air would be cool and heavy, the horizon softly blurred by golden haze. You might hear faint dripping sounds, or the whisper of methane rain falling into liquid pools. It is a familiar landscape made from unfamiliar ingredients, a reminder that nature can copy patterns in endless beautiful variations. Fact 42. A frozen Earth that never quite happened. Titan is often called a mirror to a younger Earth, not because it has life we recognize, but because it has the chemistry that may one day allow life to begin. In Titan's lakes and clouds are molecules that can link, break, reform. Simple building blocks, drifting in slow cycles of weather and time. If Titan were just a little warmer, its surface might bloom with oceans of water instead of methane. Plants might grow. Rivers might carve valleys. Life might take hold. But Titan rests in the cold, just beyond the warmth needed for that spark. So it waits, patient, silent, and full of potential. A world paused at the edge of becoming something more. Fact 43. A snow-white world. Beneath Saturn, Enceladus is small, only about as wide as the state of Arizona, yet it shines brighter than almost any other object in the solar system. Its surface is coated in clean, reflective ice, untouched and unweathered. Sunlight glimmers across it like fresh snow beneath a pale morning sky. But this frozen shell is not smooth. It is marked with long, graceful cracks, lines where the ice has shifted and stretched over time. Beneath those cracks, something mysterious stirs. Enceladus looks quiet from afar, but it is not a silent world. It holds an ocean deeper than Earth's, hidden in the dark below its shining skin. Fact 44. Geysers that sing water into space. At Enceladus's south pole, great plumes of water burst upward through cracks in the ice, streaming into space like fountains. These geysers spray tiny crystals of salt water, which freeze instantly in the cold and fall back as snow, slowly rebuilding the moon's surface. Some of the water escapes entirely, drifting outward to become part of Saturn's rings. This means the rings we see shining through telescopes contain ocean water from a hidden sea on a distant moon. The geysers pulse in a steady rhythm, like the breathing of a sleeping creature beneath the ice. Enceladus is not still. It is alive with quiet motion. Fact 45. A hidden ocean where life could dream. Beneath the ice, beneath the cracks and geysers and frozen plains, lies a warm ocean stretching across the entire moon. We believe it may be heated by hydrothermal vents, places where mineral-rich water rises from the seafloor, just as it does in the deepest places of Earth's oceans. On Earth, these deep, dark vents are full of life, thriving without sunlight, nourished only by chemistry and heat. If life could begin here, it could begin there. Not sunlight life, not surface life, but quiet, deep, ancient life, breathing in a darkness untouched by stars. Enceladus teaches us something tender. Sometimes, the most hopeful places are hidden. Fact 46. A planet that rolls through space. Unlike every other major planet, Uranus is tipped on its side. Most planets spin upright like tops, but Uranus rotates more like a ball rolling along its orbit. Its axis is tilted by 98 degrees, meaning one pole points almost directly at the sun for long stretches of time. For 42 years, the northern half of Uranus lives in pale daylight, while the southern half lingers in deep shadow, and then they trade places. This slow, gentle rhythm means Uranus experiences some of the longest seasons in the solar system. Imagine a single winter or summer, lasting nearly half a human lifetime, a world of patient time, drifting quietly through decades of soft light or soft night. Fact 47. A blue made of frozen gases. The calm blue color of Uranus comes from methane in its atmosphere, which absorbs the warmer hues of sunlight and reflects back only the cool tones. But unlike the swirling, active clouds of Jupiter or Saturn, Uranus appears smooth and tranquil, like brushed glass. Its atmosphere is cold, unimaginably so, around 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds circle the planet in wide, silent bands, moving faster than any earthly breeze. There are no sharp contrasts here, no storms that leave their mark for centuries. Instead, colors blend into softness, like watercolor washed gently across paper. Uranus looks like a planet that is always in twilight, always quiet, always calm. A world that whispers rather than roars. Fact 48. Rings. Thin as smoke, almost invisible. Though they are faint and delicate, Uranus does have rings. Narrow bands of dark dust and ice that circle the planet like strands of shadow. They are not bright like Saturn's, and they are not wide. They are subtle, thin, understated, nearly hidden from view. If you could stand close enough to see them, they might resemble grains of black sand drifting in a thin halo. These rings tell a story of something that may have once existed. Perhaps a shattered moon or leftover material from Uranus's strange tilt long ago. The rings do not draw attention. They simply remain, a quiet detail in a quiet world. Fact 49. The windiest planet in the solar system. Neptune lives far from the warmth of the sun, where light is soft and faint, just a distant glow. But despite this cold stillness, Neptune holds the fastest winds in the entire solar system. Some sweep across its atmosphere at over 1,200 miles per hour, faster than the speed of sound on Earth. Yet these winds are not violent in the way we imagine storms. There is no ground for them to strike, no forests to bend, or oceans to stir. They swirl in smooth, endless ribbons through deep blue clouds, like currents in a quiet sea. Neptune's winds are like motion without sound, strength without harshness, a reminder that power can be graceful. Fact 50. A blue that holds depth and mystery. Neptune's color is rich and deep, a shade of blue that feels almost emotional. It comes from methane in its atmosphere, absorbing warm colors and reflecting cool ones, but the exact richness of the blue remains slightly mysterious. Unlike Uranus's pale and even tone, Neptune's atmosphere moves. Clouds form and fade. Dark storms appear like ink swirling in water, then dissolve quietly without leaving a trace. One famous storm, called the Great Dark Spot, was seen for a time, a shadow within blue, and then it disappeared completely, as softly as a memory slipping away in sleep. Neptune's beauty is not static. It is living color, shifting gently across time. Fact 51. Triton, the moon that moves backward. Triton, Neptune's largest moon, orbits in the opposite direction of Neptune's rotation. This means Triton was not formed beside Neptune. It was captured, drawn in from elsewhere in the solar system long ago. Triton is cold, colder than dry ice, with a surface of frozen nitrogen that forms smooth planes and faint patterns, like frost spreading across glass. Yet beneath that frozen calm, scientists believe there may be a warm ocean deep below the crust. Triton also has geysers, plumes of nitrogen that rise into the thin air and fall again like soft snowfall. This makes Triton a world of contrasts. Frozen outside, perhaps warm inside. Quiet on the surface, yet full of possibility below. Fact 52. A realm of icy wanderers in twilight. Past Neptune lies the Kuiper Belt, a vast ring of small icy worlds circling the sun in quiet, slow paths. Here, sunlight is dim and soft, more like the glow of a distant lantern than the bright sky we know on Earth. Everything moves slowly in this cold region. Orbits stretch long. Seasons last centuries. Objects drift in silence so deep that nothing disturbs them for millions of years. The Kuiper Belt is not empty, but it is peaceful. It holds the leftovers of creation, pieces of the early solar system preserved like fossils in ice. This is where worlds go when they are too small to become planets, yet still too beautiful to be forgotten. Fact 53. Pluto, the quiet world with a heart. Pluto is small, smaller than our moon, yet it holds landscapes more varied than many planets. Ice mountains rise gently into thin air. Plains of frozen nitrogen stretch smooth as glass. Light frost settles across cratered ground each long night. But the most touching feature is the heart-shaped region on its surface, called Tombaugh Regio, a pale, icy expanse that looks like a message, simple and soft, sent into the dark. When a spacecraft flew past Pluto in 2015, the world revealed itself not as cold or lifeless, but as delicate, layered with history, change, and even weather. Pluto may be small, but it is not insignificant. It is a whisper in the dark, a reminder that beauty does not require size. Fact 54. Charon, the companion that never leaves Pluto, has a moon named Charon, and the two are locked together in a perfect balance. They do not orbit one around the other in the way most moons and planets do. Instead, they orbit a shared center, like two dancers moving in slow, eternal partnership. Because of this, Pluto and Charon always show each other the same face, forever turned toward one another, never looking away. If you stood on Pluto, Charon would hang in the sky, unmoving. If you stood on Charon, Pluto would do the same. Their relationship is not accidental. It is gravitational harmony, steady and quiet. Two worlds choosing, in physics and poetry, to never be alone. Fact 55. Sedna's long, slow journey. Through the dark, far beyond Pluto, drifts a distant world named Sedna. Its orbit is so long and stretched that one trip around the sun takes nearly 12,000 Earth years. That means when Sedna last stood in the same part of its path, mammoths walked the Earth and early humans painted caves with fire-lit images. Most of Sedna's life is spent in deep space, where sunlight is nothing more than a soft memory. It moves slowly, patiently, without urgency, like a traveler walking across a frozen plain, guided by a faint glow on the horizon. Sedna is not a world of change. It is a world of endurance, a world that reminds us that time in the universe flows differently, not in days or years, but in ages. Fact 56. Comets, the ancient messengers of water. Comets are made of ice, dust, rock, and frozen gases, fragments preserved from the beginning of the solar system. When they travel inward toward the sun, their ice warms and begins to evaporate, forming long, glowing tails that stretch across the sky. But the most surprising part is this: some of Earth's water may have arrived on comets billions of years ago. If this is true, the oceans we swim in, the rain that falls on our skin, the water we drink and carry inside our bodies, all may have begun as ancient frost traveling through space. In this way, comets are not just wanderers, they are givers, bringing the ingredients for rivers, clouds, and life itself. They carry deep history and, perhaps, deep beginnings. Fact 57. The Edge, where the sun grows quiet. There is a place where the sun's power begins to fade, not its light, which travels forever, but its influence. This boundary is called the heliopause, and it marks the edge of the sun's protective bubble of charged particles. Beyond this point lies interstellar space, the space between stars. The Voyager spacecraft have crossed this boundary, moving now through the quiet, cold distance that surrounds our solar system. They still send back faint whispers of information, traveling for over 11 billion miles to reach us. At the heliopause, the sun becomes a star among stars. Its presence becomes gentle, not gone, but softened, like a lantern glowing across a field at night. Fact 58. Gravity, the gentle sculptor. Gravity is often imagined as a force that pushes and pulls with great strength. But in the solar system, it works more like patience than power. It shapes everything quietly, holding planets in orbit, guiding moons into rhythm, and keeping oceans close to their worlds. It does not rush. It does not force. Gravity is the reason Earth circles the sun instead of drifting away. It is the reason the moon rises and falls over our oceans. It is the invisible thread that connects every world, every moon, every drifting particle of dust. The solar system is stitched together by gravity's softness, an unseen guidance that has endured for billions of years. It does not command, it simply holds. Fact 59. Orbits as a slow celestial dance. When we think of planets circling the sun, we often imagine perfect circles, neat and simple. But orbits are more like ellipses, gentle ovals, and each planet moves at different speeds along its path. They do not rush or collide because each world has found a rhythm that keeps it balanced with the others. This balance creates a kind of celestial choreography, planets sweeping around the sun at distances shaped by gravity, mass, and time. No conductor leads this dance. No score is written. And yet, everything moves in harmony. The solar system is not just a collection of objects. It is a relationship, a quiet, enduring pattern of motion through space. Fact 60. Resonance, the music of the planets. In some parts of the solar system, moons and planets fall into patterns known as resonance, where their orbits align in repeating cycles, like notes forming chords. For example, 3 of Jupiter's moons, Io, Europa, and Ganymede, orbit in a precise timing. For every orbit Ganymede completes, Europa orbits twice, and Io orbits 4 times. This mathematical rhythm keeps their orbits stable and predictable, as if they are keeping time with one another. Resonance is not accidental. It emerges naturally when objects share space for long periods. It is the solar system's quiet music, not sound, but pattern, not melody, but motion. A harmony that lasts long after storms fade, mountains crumble, and seas rise and fall. Fact 61. There is far more empty space than anything else. When we imagine the solar system, we might picture something full: planets, moons, asteroids, light. But in truth, almost everything is space. The distances between worlds are enormous, wide enough to hold quiet that lasts for hours, days, even years of travel. If Earth were the size of a marble, the moon would be a small bead hovering a foot away, while Mars would be somewhere across the room, and Jupiter would be down the street. We live in a system that is spacious, calm, and gently spread out. The planets are not crowded. They drift in generous silence, each world given room to breathe. The solar system is more like a vast cathedral than a machine, open, echoing, and filled with light. Fact 62. Planets don't actually orbit the sun. It may seem like all the planets circle the sun directly, But this is only partly true. Instead, everything in the solar system orbits a shared center of gravity, called the barycenter. Sometimes this center lies deep within the sun, but not always. When planets are large enough, like Jupiter, the barycenter shifts outside the sun's surface. This means the sun, too, is moving, tracing tiny loops in space as it responds to the pull of the planets. The solar system does not have a fixed anchor. Everything moves around everything else in gentle balance. We are all part of the same motion, like dancers circling one another, not a single leader guiding the rest. Fact 63. The solar system is traveling through the galaxy. Right now, the sun is not still. It is moving through the Milky Way at about 500,000 miles per hour, and the planets move with it, like leaves drifting on a slow, steady current. So as Earth orbits the sun and the moon orbits Earth, we are all also sweeping together in a great spiral through the galaxy. Our path is not a circle, but a helix, a winding journey forward, always going somewhere new. Every moment of your life has taken place in a region of space no human has ever been in before. We are always traveling, even when we feel still, sleeping, waking, breathing, drifting gently with the stars. Fact 64. The solar system isn't flat. We often imagine the solar system as a neat, flat disk, like diagrams in books. But in reality, each planet's orbit is tilted slightly at a different angle. Moons tilt too. Even the sun wobbles very softly as it moves. So instead of a smooth plate, the solar system is more like a mobile hanging in quiet air, each world suspended in its own delicate plane, drifting in slow, endless circles. And all of this is wrapped inside a great, rounded bubble of solar wind, a soft boundary that marks where the sun's influence fades. It is not a sharp line. It is a gentle gradient, like dusk fading into night. Fact 65. The sun lives a long, steady life. The sun is a middle-aged star, calm and reliable. It has been shining for about 4.6 billion years, and it will continue for billions more. Stars like the sun do not burn quickly. They glow steadily, in quiet equilibrium. Deep in its core, hydrogen slowly becomes helium, releasing warmth that drifts outward, eventually becoming the light that touches your skin on a clear day. And just as gently, the sun changes over time, growing slightly brighter, very slowly warming the solar system. It is not a flame that flickers. It is a hearth, steady and ancient, burning with patience rather than urgency. The sun is time made gentle. Fact 66. Every planet could fit between Earth and the moon. The moon feels close, a familiar companion in the sky. But the space between Earth and the moon is vast, wide enough to fit every planet in the solar system side by side, with room left to spare. This distance is so great that a radio signal, traveling at the speed of light, takes more than a full second to make the round trip from Earth to the moon and back again. The night sky can make the moon appear near, almost touchable. But space stretches farther than our senses suggest. It is open, calm, and quiet, leaving room for worlds to move without crowding one another. Distance, too, can be gentle. Fact 67. Miranda, the moon of broken landscapes. Miranda orbits Uranus, small and pale, but its surface tells a story of upheaval. Great cliffs rise higher than any known on Earth, some stretching more than 3 miles straight upward. Patches of landscape appear stitched together, as if the moon were taken apart and reassembled. Pieces fitted back into place with gentle mismatches. Scientists believe Miranda may have been broken by gravity, torn slightly apart by the pull and release of Uranus and neighboring moons, and then slowly drawn back into shape. But the process left behind a world of ridges, canyons, and carved plains that look like the memory of a dream retold. Miranda is small, quiet, and gentle, yet carries the marks of ancient, silent drama. It is a moon that has known change and survived it. Fact 68. Hyperion, the sponge-textured wanderer. Hyperion orbits Saturn, but it does not move smoothly. Its path wobbles, its rotation tumbles, and it never turns the same face to Saturn twice. From a distance, Hyperion looks like a sponge or a pumice stone, full of deep, shadowed pockets. These craters are so porous and soft that impacts do not compress them. They simply deepen the surface's airy texture. Its density is so low that if you held a piece of Hyperion in your hands, it might feel as light as driftwood. It is believed to be made of ice filled with empty space, frozen foam drifting in the darkness. Hyperion is a reminder that not everything solid must feel heavy, and not everything that travels must have direction. It drifts, lightly, unpredictably, like a slow thought wandering. Fact 69. Nereid, the moon that cannot settle. Nereid is one of Neptune's moons, and its orbit is unlike any other. Instead of a smooth circle, it travels on a long, stretched path that brings it close to Neptune at one point and sends it far away at another. No one is entirely sure why. Nereid may have been pulled by Neptune's gravity into this elongated motion long ago, or it may have once been another object entirely, captured like Triton and slowly drawn into orbit. Its distance changes so much that sunlight there can shift from dim to nearly invisible and back again over the course of a single orbit. Nereid feels like a moon that wanders, always moving, but never finding a rhythm. A quiet drifter in a quiet realm. Fact 70. A cloud of comets that surrounds us like a shell. Far beyond the planets, past the Kuiper Belt, and the dim outer twilight of the solar system, there is a vast region called the Oort cloud. It is not a ring, but a sphere surrounding our solar system on all sides, like a soft halo of ancient ice. The objects out here are small, frozen, and incredibly far apart, separated by distances so great that each one might live a lonely existence for millions of years without encountering another. Most of the time, the Oort cloud is silent, but every so often, a comet begins the long fall toward the sun, drifting inward over thousands of years. The Oort cloud is the solar system's outer memory, a place where time moves slowly, like a breath held. Fact 71. A journey that takes longer than civilizations. When a comet begins its inward journey from the Oort cloud, it does not rush. It travels along a path that may take millennia to complete. Civilizations rise and fall. Languages form and fade. Stars shift in the sky. And the comet keeps moving, steady, unhurried, carrying with it ice older than the Earth itself. When it finally approaches the sun, the heat awakens it. Ice turns to glowing vapor. A tail forms, spreading gently across space, reflecting sunlight as pale blue or white or faint gold. Comets are travelers who return to our skies only after ages have passed. Seeing one is like seeing a messenger from deep time, a visitor who began its journey long before we were here to notice. Fact 72. A border that isn't really a border. The Oort cloud marks the place where the sun's gravity weakens, not ending suddenly, but fading. Beyond this distance, the pull of other stars begins to gently interfere. The solar system does not stop here. It simply blends into the galaxy, the way a shoreline blends into the sea. There is no wall, no edge, just a gradual softening, a transition from ours to everyone's. If you were there, space would look no different. Dark, quiet, full of starlight. But mathematically, gently, you would be stepping from one realm into another, like walking from a familiar room into a night field, the air the same, the sky the same. Yet something subtle tells you you've crossed a threshold. Fact 73. The sun is not silent. Though we often imagine space as perfectly quiet, the sun is full of sound, waves of vibration rising and falling within its vast layers of gas. But the vacuum of space cannot carry these sounds, so they never reach our ears. If we could hear the sun directly, it would not roar or crackle. It would hum, a deep, continuous resonance, like a long-held note played on a distant cello. Astronomers study these vibrations like musicians studying harmonics, learning about the sun's interior, not by seeing it, but by listening to the patterns of its pulsing waves. The sun is not silent. It is music we cannot hear, warmth we cannot touch, and energy that sustains every living thing. Fact 74. Every sunrise is ancient light arriving. The sunlight that touches your skin today began its journey deep inside the sun's core over 100,000 years ago. There, hydrogen fused into helium, releasing energy that slowly scattered outward, bouncing between atoms, drifting upward through layers of plasma. By the time it reaches the sun's surface, it has been transformed into the warm, golden glow we see. From there, the light travels through space to Earth, just 8 minutes across 93 million miles. So the warmth of a sunrise is both incredibly old and incredibly young. It began before human memory, and yet it arrives fresh each morning, gentle and immediate. Sunlight is time itself, brought to Earth in a warm, quiet touch. Fact 75. The sun's light is every color at once. The sun appears golden in our sky, but its light contains every color in the visible spectrum. When passed through a prism, sunlight separates into a rainbow. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, all present together. Our atmosphere filters the light, scattering the blues and letting the warmer hues drift to our eyes during dawn and dusk. This is why sunsets blaze softly in red and amber tones, not because the sun has changed, but because the path the light travels has grown long, passing through more air and dust on its way to us. The sun is not just a color. It is the source of color, a painter of skies, seas, and seasons. Fact 76. Mercury, the messenger. Closest to the sun. Mercury is the smallest major planet, and it circles closest to the sun. Because it is so near, sunlight there is strong and sharp, yet the planet has no thick atmosphere to hold warmth. This means its days are blisteringly hot, while its nights fall into bitter cold, a world of extremes shaped by silence. On Mercury, the sun would appear 3 times larger in the sky than it does on Earth. Shadows would fall darker. Light would feel more direct, more immediate. Yet the sky would remain black even at noon because there is no air to scatter color. Mercury is a world where time runs differently, where days last longer than years, yet it remains small, quiet, unassuming, a whisper beside a great flame. Fact 77. Venus, wrapped in clouds of soft light. Venus is often called Earth's twin, nearly the same size, nearly the same mass. But it evolved along a different path. Instead of oceans and forests, Venus is surrounded by a thick, golden atmosphere that traps heat like a blanket, making its surface the hottest in the solar system. Yet above the harsh surface lies something surprisingly gentle. Clouds made of tiny droplets, glowing softly as they reflect sunlight. If you floated in the upper atmosphere, the view would feel warm, hazy, and quiet, like standing in the golden light of a long afternoon. The winds above Venus move gracefully around the planet in a slow, steady flow, a world that could have been like ours. A reminder of how slight differences can shape entire destinies. Fact 78. Earth, the planet that knows. Water, Earth is special, not because it is large, or bright, or old, but because of liquid water flowing freely across its surface. Rivers, lakes, oceans, rain, snow, mist, all shifting gently in endless cycles. Water remembers. It moves heat across the planet, shapes coastlines, nourishes life, and dissolves minerals that become part of living things. The blue of Earth, seen from space, is the color of reflection. Sunlight, dancing across waves and tides drawn softly by the moon. Our air, our clouds, our seasons, all are shaped by water's patient movement. If you have ever listened to rain at night, or walked beside a lake at dawn, you have felt the planet thinking. Earth is not just a home. It is a gentle conversation between light, water, and time. Fact 79. Shadows are longer on other worlds. On Earth, shadows stretch and shorten as the day moves, balancing between the angle of the sun and the curve of the ground. But on other planets and moons, shadows behave differently. On the moon, for example, shadows are deep and almost entirely black because there is no air to scatter light. Objects look sharp, crisp, as if carved from stone. On Mars, shadows come in warm tones, soft reddish-brown, tinted by dust suspended in the thin air. And on Mercury, shadows can be colder than ice, even while the surrounding rock blazes with heat. Shadows in the solar system are not simply absence. They are textures of silence, shaped by distance, atmosphere, and light. Every world holds its own way of holding darkness. Fact 80. Light takes time, even when it feels instant. We often think of light as something that happens now, instantly. But every beam of sunlight takes 8 minutes and 20 seconds to travel from the sun to Earth. That means the light falling through your window, this moment began its journey when you were doing something else. Before your last thought, before your last breath. When you look at the sun, or at sunlight reflected in leaves, clouds, or water, you are seeing something that has already happened. The entire solar system works like this. Every world is seen not as it is, but as it was, just moments or minutes or hours ago, depending on distance. Space is not just emptiness, it is time, in motion, carried on waves of light. Fact 81. The solar system has no up and down. When we look at diagrams, the planets seem to sit on a flat plane, as if there is a top and a bottom. But in space, there is no direction that is truly above or below. Up and down are ideas we learned from living on a planet with a surface and gravity that pulls us toward it. In space, direction is relative, defined only by where you choose to look. If you floated anywhere in the solar system and turned slowly, the sky would have no preferred orientation. You could watch planets drift across your vision in gentle arcs, and there would be no ceiling, no floor, just motion, just stillness, just the quiet of being held by gravity, with nowhere you must go. Fact 82. Planets are born from dust and heat. Every planet in our solar system began as dust, floating in a swirling disk around the young sun. Tiny grains collided gently, sticking together. Over time, they formed pebbles, then stones, then mountains, then worlds. This process took millions of years, yet it never rushed. Gravity worked like patience, gathering material one quiet moment at a time. Even today, in distant regions of the galaxy, new stars and new planets are forming from the same simple ingredients: dust, heat, time, and silence. The solar system was not built suddenly or with force. It grew, the way crystals grow, the way coral grows, the way seeds grow into forests. Slowly, softly, with care written into its nature. Fact 83. Planets continue to change, even now. Although planets feel permanent, they are always evolving. Earth's continents drift slowly across its surface, moving only inches each year, yet crossing entire oceans over geologic ages. Mars once had rivers and lakes, and perhaps gentle rain, but now it sleeps beneath its dust. Venus may once have had oceans, before heat reshaped it into a world of clouds and stone. Even the gas giants change. Storms drift, winds shift, bands of color appear and fade. And beneath icy crusts on moons like Europa and Enceladus, oceans rise and circulate in complete darkness. Nothing in the solar system is still. Everything changes, but at a pace so slow that we experience it like a steady breath, unnoticed, but always present. The universe is never idle. It simply moves at the speed of time. Fact 84. Endings are not final in the cosmos. One day, billions of years from now, the sun will run out of hydrogen to burn. It will swell into a red giant, growing so wide that Mercury and Venus will disappear into its expanding glow. Earth will no longer be the world we know. But this will not be a tragedy. The sun will then shed its outer layers, releasing clouds of gas that drift outward into space, glowing softly for tens of thousands of years. This glowing cloud is called a planetary nebula, the same kind of structure that once gave birth to our own solar system. From the remnants of our star, new stars may form. New planets may gather. Life may rise again. Endings in the cosmos are merely beginnings written differently. Fact 85. We have only just begun to explore. For all our telescopes, satellites, and spacecraft, we have physically visited only a tiny fraction of the solar system. Humans have walked only on the moon. Robots have touched Mars, Venus, and a handful of asteroids. We have sent probes past Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, but only once each, on brief gliding flybys. Most moons have never felt a spacecraft land. Most comets have never been seen up close. Most of the outer worlds remain quiet, untouched, waiting in starlit stillness. We live in a system full of places, landscapes, oceans, skies, and stories, and we have seen almost none of it. We are still at the dawn of exploration. The solar system is not distant. It is simply unopened. Fact 86. Telescopes are time machines. When you look through a telescope and observe distant planets, galaxies, or stars, you are not seeing them as they are now. You are seeing them as they were when their light left them. Light takes time to travel. So the farther we look, the farther back in time we are watching. A star, 1,000 light years away, is shown to us as it was 1,000 years ago. A galaxy millions of light years away appears as it was millions of years in the past. We do not simply look across distance. We look through time. The night sky is full of echoes. Every star is a memory shining in darkness. Astronomy is not just observation. It is listening to the past speak softly. Fact 87. We carry stardust in our bodies. The carbon in your cells, the calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, all were forged in the heart of stars long before the sun ever existed. When stars grew old and could no longer carry their heat, They release these elements into space, some in gentle clouds, some in great, luminous bursts. These elements drifted, gathered, formed new stars, new planets, oceans, trees, and eventually, us. This means you are not separate from the solar system. You are made from it. When you breathe, when you speak, when you dream, you are the universe remembering itself. You are part of a story billions of years long. You always have been. Fact 88. The planets affect one another in subtle ways. Even across enormous distances, planets gently influence one another through gravity. Jupiter and Saturn, the two largest planets, tug softly on the rest, shifting orbits by tiny amounts over millions of years. These pulls are slow and patient, like a hand resting quietly on someone's shoulder. They don't disturb the system, they help stabilize it. If Jupiter were not where it is, Earth's orbit might wobble too much for stable seasons. If Saturn were not where it is, Jupiter's pull might be too strong. The planets are not isolated worlds. They are part of a shared balance, each one keeping rhythm with the others. The solar system breathes as a whole. Fact 89. The moon is moving away from Earth. Each year, the moon drifts about 1.5 inches farther away from Earth. This is because tides, the gentle rise and fall of Earth's oceans, transfer a tiny push of energy to the moon over time. It is such a slow change that it is invisible to us in a single lifetime. But over billions of years, the moon will appear smaller in the sky. There will come a distant day when a total solar eclipse will no longer be possible, when the moon will be too far to perfectly cover the sun. But that moment is millions of human lifetimes away. For now, the moon remains close, steady, familiar, a companion we have always known, a companion we will continue to know for ages. Fact 90. Every world is turning, even now. Planets rotate, moons spin, stars revolve. Everything in the solar system is always moving, yet we hardly feel it. Earth turns at over 1,000 miles per hour and moves around the sun at 67,000 miles per hour. Yet we experience it as stillness. This is one of the quietest truths of existence. Motion does not always feel like motion. Sometimes, the most profound changes happen gently, without sensation. The universe does not have to shout to carry us forward. It simply continues. And we move with it, effortlessly, without needing to try. Fact 91. The solar system is just one neighborhood in a vast city. Our solar system is only one small system among hundreds of billions of others in the Milky Way Galaxy. Each star you see in the night sky, and countless stars you cannot see, may have planets, moons, dust, and comets of its own. Some are large, with multiple suns. Some are small, cold, and quiet. Some may hold oceans beneath ice, or continents beneath clouds. The Milky Way stretches so widely that even traveling at the speed of light, it would take 100,000 years to cross from one side to the other. So when we look upward, we are not looking into emptiness. We are looking into a city of stars, each one a distant home. Fact 92. The solar system is not stationary. Our entire solar system is moving through the Milky Way, circling the galactic center in a long, slow orbit that takes about 230 million years. This means that since the sun formed, it has made only about 20 trips around the galaxy. When dinosaurs walked the Earth, the sun was in a completely different part of the Milky Way than it is today. When early humans lit the first fires, we were somewhere else still. Every moment you have ever lived, every breath, every dream has taken place during a journey across the galaxy so gentle that none of us feel it. We are travelers, even when we are still. Fact 93. The stars we see are not forever the same. The stars in our night sky look constant, fixed in familiar patterns. But these patterns are temporary, shaped by the positions and motions of stars that are each moving on their own paths. Constellations are not permanent pictures, but gentle coincidences of perspective. Over tens of thousands of years, they slowly reshape. Lines shift. Distances change. Familiar patterns soften into unfamiliar forms. Yet this change is slow. So slow, it feels like stillness. The night sky we see today is a message from the past, and a message we pass into the future. Somewhere, far ahead in time, someone else may look up and see different shapes in the same sky, and feel wonder, just as we do. Fact 94. Distance makes the solar system peaceful. The vast space between planets is not empty because nothing exists there. It is empty because peace needs room. With so much distance between worlds, they do not collide or compete. They move gracefully, each in its own orbit, without crowding or conflict. This spaciousness is why the solar system can last for billions of years with such stability. Distance here is not isolation, it is balance. A place where every world is free to be itself. When we look at space and see emptiness, we are really seeing room for harmony, the quiet structure that allows everything to move together without fear of interruption. In the cosmos, space is kindness. Fact 95. The solar system does not shine from the outside. If you could drift far away, beyond the reach of the planets, beyond even the Oort cloud, and then turn to look back, the solar system would not gleam like a glowing model. You would not see rings or orbits, or the outlines of worlds. You would see only a single star, glowing softly in the darkness. The planets would be invisible, too small, too faint, too quiet to reflect enough light. Everything familiar, Earth, the moon, the oceans, the sky, would fit into a single spark, a warm pinprick in an endless night. This is not frightening. It is comforting. It means that even the grandest things in our lives are held within something bright and small and gentle. Fact 96. We look outward to understand ourselves. We study planets, stars, moons, comets, and dust, not only to learn what is out there, but to learn what is inside us. We compare Earth to Mars to understand our own climate. We study Jupiter's storms to learn about motion and fluidity. We search Europa's ocean to better understand life and possibility. The universe is not separate from us. It is a mirror, a teacher, a quiet companion that offers perspective in the language of distance and time. When we look at the night sky, we are not escaping the world. We are returning to where we came from. Fact 97. The solar system is a story still being written. Though we speak of the solar system as something complete, it is still changing. Dust from comets settles on planets. Asteroids drift gradually into new paths. Moons slowly shift their orbits. Stars nearby move closer and farther as time passes. Nothing in the solar system is frozen in its current form. It is a living system, unfolding in slow motion. The planets today are not exactly the planets of a million years ago, and not exactly those of the future. We are living inside a story of ongoing creation. The universe is not finished. It is becoming. Fact 98. The solar system exists within a web of gravity. Every star exerts a pull on every other star. Every planet pulls on every other planet. Every moon pulls on every other moon. And so the solar system is not isolated in space. It is part of a subtle, endless network of gravitational relationships. When a star passes near ours, even very far away, it can gently tug on the Oort cloud, sending comets inward. When Jupiter changes its orbit by even the smallest amount, it shifts the movement of the entire system. Nothing stands alone. Everything influences everything else. This is not chaos. It is interconnection. The same truth applies to us. Our lives, too, are shaped quietly by forces we cannot always see, but always feel. Fact 99. We are the first creatures. Here to notice the whole. For billions of years, the solar system moved in silence, unobserved. Planets orbited, moons rose and fell. Comets traced long arcs through darkness. No eyes watched, no minds wondered, no voices told the story. And then, us. Small beings on a small world, with the capacity to look up and feel something. Awe, curiosity, belonging. We are the first known life in the solar system to be aware of the solar system, to witness it, to name it, to feel connected to it. The universe did not demand that we understand it, and yet we do. And that is a quiet miracle. Fact 100. You are part of the solar system too. It can be easy to feel separate from the universe, to imagine the planets as distant, unreachable, far beyond daily life. But everything in your body, every atom you carry, every spark of thought and breath began in the same ancient cloud of stardust that formed the sun. You are not looking at the solar system from the outside. You are looking from within it. You are made of the same elements that shine in stars, the same minerals that form mountains on Mars, the same water that may sleep beneath the ice of distant moons. You belong to this place. When you look at the night sky, you are not observing. You are remembering. And as our journey comes to a gentle close, I hope you found a bit of quiet among the stars tonight. There's nothing you need to hold on to now. No thought you need to chase. Just rest, knowing that you are part of something ancient, beautiful, and endlessly unfolding. If drifting through these sleepy facts brought you peace, I invite you to like the video, subscribe, or leave a comment with what topic you'd love to fall asleep to next. Your small gesture helps other dreamers find their way here. When you're ready to keep wandering, you can tap the end screen to begin another soft journey, another night of starlit wondering. But for now, let your breathing slow. Let your thoughts soften. Let the quiet hold you. Sweet dreams, and I'll see you among the stars.